obviously, at the end of the day, information is the most valuable asset any of us can have, from our understanding of our scientific causality to what we're all doing and pursuing in a collective. The advancement of technology will eventually allow for information to be brought together in an intelligent way without the human brain, meaning we will be able to collect data and process it just like we do on a computer, but it will be of a higher level. I state this because it relates directly to your question with respect to the importance of it and where decision makings come in. The reason that WikiLeaks and all of these kind of rogue people that are really struggling to get information out there, the reason that's so important is because obviously there's such a tremendous lack of transparency built into this model from the actions of government. The very fact that most major nations have intelligence agencies, such as the Central Intelligence Agency in America, or even the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and their entire role is to keep information secret and to make sure certain information is restricted or other information is not brought out or oppressed. This is a sign of the times as far as how frightened the power establishment is of people learning. We can go back to the Middle Ages, where very few people had literacy, and they were very easy to control. Very easy to control people. We see things in Egypt with the social networking revolution, very fast display of information. This would never have happened without the computerization of Egypt. They would continue to harness the same values that they're taught. And this is what is really driving evolution in many different ways. This is probably what has caused whatever progress we can see in the late 20th and 21st century, is the abundance of new information and knowing what's happening. And that gives me a great deal of hope. So I have great respect for anyone that's willing to put out information, especially for free, to just get it out there. I mean, we are going to have to reach a point where sharing our information, sharing our ideas, becomes commonplace. The idea of copyright and, I mean, in a monetary system, these things are necessary, but it's ill will, it's ill-gotten, and it only causes problems, because to share information means you're expanding data that others can build upon. So instead of one person thinking of an invention and hoarding all their ideas through their patents so no one can know, why not open that up, sort of like a Wikipedia, where people can contribute? And imagine, instead of just a few minds in a boardroom inventing something, imagine a network where everyone could see a concept, and through a strategic system, they could interact. Millions of minds working at once to improve society. And this is really what it comes down to. And that's the whole goal of information in the future, to me, is finding a way for all of our minds to come together for the greater good. And I think if that value system is there, it also begins to erode the secrecy and the elements that are associated with the market system as far as propriety and people's claim of invention, because really no one invents anything. As another angle, all information is serially developed. Our brains have not changed very much in thousands and thousands of years. The only reason we're not, doing lots of primitive things that we used to do in the Middle Ages, leeches, the many different forms of behavior that we see as very primitive today, and we ask ourselves, why were we doing that? Is because of the development, the serial development of information through the group mind, through the group contribution. All of us are benefiting from the group contribution. None of us actually think of anything novel. We have a little bit of novelty because of our experience. And naturally, we each have an independent experience, so certain data is coalesced differently. But the foundation of that data is all shared and communal and doesn't come from anywhere. It's just developed through society. And that's important to realize, because that sets the stage for our inevitable application of that understanding, which is the creation of a large information network that we can all share, utilize for invention. No information should ever be secret unless it's of the absolute most sensitive nature of an immature society, which unfortunately we still have, such to say the blueprints to create some atomic weapon. And in this world that we live in, that information should not be available. But then again, there's nothing to stop that information from getting out there. And that brings us back to values. That brings us back to what this society supports. No one is safe anymore. WikiLeaks is fun to me because they have proven that it doesn't matter how much security the corporate credit card companies have or any government, they can hack into it. So none of us are safe. Anyone, if they really want to, can break into your home, can do anything they want to anybody. So the true security comes from a world that's sharing everything as a family, especially information, prime commodity.